Are you having trouble finding the motivation to get moving, to do that workout? Well, today we're going to talk about 5 mistakes you need to avoid to make sure you find the motivation to get moving once again. I'm Haley Pulley, head coach here at My Body Tutor. I'm here with Adam Gilbert, the founder of My Body Tutor, and today we're going to share with you the 5 mistakes you're making that are interrupting your motivation to get yourself moving. Adam, why don't you start us out? What's mistake number 1?
All right, let's get right to it. The first mistake is people are choosing movement or exercise that you don't like. Very simple, but I see it time after time. I hear about it time after time. People are like, oh, I feel like I should do this class or I should do this, and they despise it. So the first thing is really choosing something that you look forward to, that you enjoy, something that is actually fun.
Yeah, but I would venture to argue that most people would say, like, if you're not hating what you're doing in terms of working out or exercise, then it doesn't count, right?
Yeah, well, what about going for a walk then? What about going paddling if that's an option? What about going swimming? What about going for a bike ride? I think we feel like in order for exercise to work, we have to suffer, right? We have to make ourselves miserable.
Right, and is that the point of exercise?
No. I mean, for me, and I want this for everyone, the point of exercise is for stress relief, for energy, for a better mood. I think a lot of people exercise because they think it's the key to weight loss, but it's really not. I mean, the key to weight loss is diet. It's 80% of diet. It's about what, why, and how you eat. This is why you see people working their butts off in the gym month after month, even with a trainer, not looking any different. So exercise is the key to energy, stress relief, a better mood. And if you think about it that way, if you think about exercise as being the key to being the best version of yourself, then I think it opens up a whole world of possibilities.
Right. It makes it something you want to find, something that brings you joy, that brings you feeling good, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
All right, cool. So we got to find something we like doing. But next on the list is a big one, especially with the world today. Number 2 is
having to have everything be perfect, right? You have to have the right exercise clothes. You have to, have the right equipment, the right space, whatever it might be. And there's always this, reason for not exercising. I often use the analogy of someone who wants to learn how to swim, right? So they might look for the best coaches or the best pool or the best bathing suit or the best goggles. At the end of the day, you just got to jump in the pool. There's no way around that. And when it comes to exercise, you just got to do it. But perhaps if you're doing something that you find fun, it'll be easier to take that jump. But don't let the mistake of having to have everything be perfect in order to exercise.
right. Yeah. There was a coach I worked with once that, said all the time, like, if you want to run faster, run faster. You just got to do it, right? Like, you got to overcome all those, but it's not, I'm not there yet. I don't have it yet. No, you create that. You create that moment of being there.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have all the right stuff.
Right. And I think it's, the idea of sticking with it while being less than perfect is so powerful. And I think the idea of getting some sort of movement in while things aren't ideal or under the ideal circumstance is even more powerful. We need to learn how to adapt and do it no matter what. What does perfect even mean, right? And I think that's just an illusion we create for ourselves to kind of absolve ourselves from, movement. And I think the reason we do that is because we were dreading the movement. So hopefully point number 1 of doing something you enjoy will make it easier.
Absolutely. So mistake number 3 actually kind of goes hand in hand with mistake number 2, assuming you have to have all the perfect scenarios. A lot of people think, if I can't spend X amount of time moving my body, exercising, working out, sweating hard, then it doesn't count. I just shouldn't do it, right?
Yeah. I once had this client that she, scorned exercise unless she was training for a marathon. She scorned exercise, right? So, she would train for a marathon once a year, and then the rest of the year, if she wasn't running 5, 10, 15 miles, she felt like it wasn't worth it. And then she never exercised except when she was training. So yes, the idea, I think this is probably the biggest mistake of, people think they can, if they can't exercise for X amount of minutes or hours, which is totally unnecessary, but whatever it is, whatever the number they have in their head, if they can't do that, then it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And, the thing I've learned, one of the things you learn quickly as a parent for sure is, you have to make time, and whatever time you can get, that's great. You're not going to have the perfect workout.
Right. Yeah, I call it no 0 days. Like, listen, not every single day are we going to have ample amount of time to move our bodies. But like I've told my clients, I'm like, if you get to the end of the day and you didn't get to your workout, before you get into bed, get down, hold the plank 30 seconds. It's a no 0 day. Right. And most people would poo-poo that. But by the end of the week, what if you have a crazy week and you don't make any of your workouts, but you bother to do 30 seconds of plank every single night? Hello.
Right.
You got 3 minutes of planking done. It's better than nothing.
Totally.
No 0.
Totally. I love that. And, it's like, all or nothing leads to nothing every single time. So the idea is always something, right? Always something, always some sort of movement. I do my 20 by 4, 20 push-ups, 20 crunches, 20 squats, and 20 jumping jacks. And if I don't have time in the day to exercise, I do that at the very least. I do it before I shower, and it takes 5 minutes. Right? Something is always better than nothing. And, all or nothing always leads to nothing. So make it always something. And the truth is, even a 15 or 10-minute workout will absolutely make a difference in how you feel. And, the idea here is keeping the momentum, right? Versus starting and stopping. Workouts become daunting and exercise becomes daunting when we haven't done it in a while. So it's much easier to keep it consistent and keep doing something.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we got to move on. Mistake number 4 is another big one, Adam. Most people are leaving exercise to the end of the day, and they're going into their day with no clear plan of how to execute it. So talk to us about that.
Yeah. I mean, not having a plan. I mean, if you fail at a plan, you plan to fail. And creating time in the day, setting time in the day for exercise is so key, right? You make time for important meetings, you make time for doctor's appointments, you make time for your kids, make time for your exercise, carve it out in your calendar, in your schedule, block it off, and treat that sacredly. Treat it as a VIP, because ultimately, when you take care of yourself, when you move, it's going to enable you to be better at everything else, right? You're going to feel better, you're going to have more focus, you're going to be more productive. So it's so simple, but you really need to put it in your calendar, because if you don't, you're not going to find the time to exercise. You have to make the time.
Right. And I think the other thing, and maybe it's not for everybody, but I think for the most part, like, look at exercise, movement as one of your most important things. And we really want to build the habit of doing our most important things earlier in the day, when we have the wherewithal, when we have the stamina, when we have the motivation, right? It all wanes towards the end of the day. So even if you're planning to do it at the end of the day, it's easy to just push it off until tomorrow. So if you can, plan for the most important thing first, right? Get it out of the way. It also boosts your mood, your energy goes up, and you tackle everything better. So again, it doesn't have to be an hour, but 10 minutes of something before you get to all the urgencies of the day can really make a difference.
Yeah, very quickly. I mean, I look at it as the Archimedes lever. It's like, what's the one thing when you do it, it helps you do everything else, right? Think about it as dominoes. What's the 1 or 2 dominoes? When you get those done or tackle those, everything else manages to get done. For me, it's exercise. For a lot of people, it's exercise. It's movement. It just gives us energy. When you expend energy, you get energy, right? It's counterintuitive, but the more energy you expend, the more energy you get. So that's why it is worth prioritizing, because it's going to just yield such a benefit in terms of how you feel, and allow you to be better at everything you do.
Yes, absolutely. We're like basil plants. The more you reap your basil, the more it grows.
Exactly.
All right. So the last mistake, which might seem obvious, but I think it may be one of the most crucial things that we do that affects our motivation, and that is.
Yeah, it's like, I call it the sunny and 80 effect. It's like, some people, they only show up when it's sunny and 80 degrees. That's easy, right? It's easy when it's easy, but obviously it's not always easy. When it's cloudy, when it's rainy, when it's snowy, when we don't feel like it, when we just want to stay in bed, those are the times to show up. And letting how we feel determine our actions it's not going to lead us to where we want to be, right? The truth is most people let their feelings determine their actions, and then they wind up perpetuating those feelings. However, it's our actions that actually determine and perpetuate our feelings, right? So when you move or you do something productive, you wind up feeling better, right? So the secret is your actions determine your feelings. Too often we let our feelings determine our actions. So one trick that helps me a lot when I'm not feeling it, and there's plenty of days I don't feel it, I'm not into it. Music for me, I love music. It gets me going. Excuse me. It gets me going. So, I love making playlists. I love, seeking out new music. I'm always on the hunt for good songs. And listen to whatever you like, right? I mean, I personally, I love rap and hip hop. I love dance music. Sometimes I love rock. It depends my mood, but listen to what you like. And perhaps it's the music you like when you were a teenager, and that's cool. Listen to what gets you going. But for me, music is what helps me change how I feel also.
Yeah, definitely. And another big one is accountability. And I'll reach out to a friend and I'll be like, hey, I'm going for a run today. And, maybe she'll shoot me a text message back like, yeah, me too. And, I go out, I run, maybe it was a terrible run, but whatever it is, she's over there, thinking to herself like, oh, Haley's going out for a run. I'm going to go for a run. And we check in with each other afterward and we kind of give each other a follow-up and a report. So that piece can be really helpful. Also group fitness, signing up for classes and creating a community there of people who expect to see you, who get excited to see you. It's really motivating. So friends help out a lot as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a great point. And, as we offer accountability, one of my favorite things is to text my coach, hey, here's what I'm doing, or here's the plan, and then texting them afterward, hey, I'm done. That feeling of accomplishment and satisfaction is priceless. It really feels incredible. And it's nice to show up, of course, for myself, but also when I tell my coach I'm going to do something and actually do it, it feels really good as well. So yeah, accountability, absolutely a game changer, as we know.
Yeah. Well, and also remembering how you feel afterward, right? Either I'm going to ask myself to go ahead and do this despite how I'm feeling, and I'm going to feel amazing. Nobody has ever told me in all my years of personal training, group fitness, exercising myself, I regret doing that workout. Nobody's ever said that, but I can't tell you how many times I've heard it and I felt it myself. I wish I had done it. I wish I had just gotten myself up and gone and done it, because I know I will feel better if I do.
Right. I really regret that workout. Said no one ever. Right. And
That's right.
I think about that often too, is how do I want to feel? And I know how accomplished and satisfied I feel. And again, it doesn't have to be from a crazy workout. It's just doing something.
No.
And part of it, I think, is doing something when you don't feel like it, and doing something that is uncomfortable makes you feel powerful, right? That in itself is very empowering, and it feels incredible. So I think about that a lot too. Is one of my favorite things to do is have lunch. I feel accomplished. I feel satisfied post workout. That feeling is awesome. But I think part of that also is just getting through that uncomfortable feeling of hey, showing up for ourselves even though we don't feel like it, because we know ultimately it's going to make us be and feel like a better version of ourselves.
Absolutely. All right, guys, time to get motivated. Let's work on not making those 5 mistakes, flip them around, and get moving. We'll see you soon. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you liked that video, check out the link for another great video right here.
And if you're having trouble staying consistent, if you feel like you know what to do but just can't seem to do it, I invite you to check out our coaching program. It's in the link below. We offer one-to-one accountability, coaching, support. I know you're going to love it, and let's go. Together we can make it happen.